Well, hello there! And it's that time again. Though it's a special time. It's April Fool's Day!
We don't have any pranks for you.
We don't have any pranks. We reflected upon it. We reflected upon coming on here very gravely faced and saying, the blog that has truly blazed has burned out. But that's not funny. This blog, as far as I'm concerned, will always blaze. And hopefully I'll always have at my side the talented, brilliant, beautiful...
Hello, Marissa Cohen.
Marissa Cohen,
Nice to see everyone again. Thank you again for having me back, as always.
She's so welcome. She's so good at what she does. She's a talented astrologer. She's a card reader. She's a writer, an editor. She's into all kinds of trades, and she's a master of all of them. She's very, very good at what she does. So without further ado, let's go ahead and proceed with our blazing blog. The first card is the last card of the previous week's reading. This card is the Six of Swords. This represents great mental acuity, clarity, consciousness, focusing closely, avidly upon our goals, representing Mercury, planet of thought, planet of commerce, planet of healing, of magic, in the sign of Aquarius, where it does very, very well. Very, very mental energy, very strong, and very, very powerfully focused. So we may have felt lately, despite the retrograde, because retrogrades are usually not good for focus, okay? They're anything but that. But we may have had some bursts of clarity over the last couple of days and a strong sense of purpose and a strong sense of our goals, what it is that we're trying to accomplish. What would you say about that, Marissa?
Well, I think there's a lot of really interesting energy going on right now. The first one is that we're Mercury in retrograde. We've been in it for about 3 days. I had a poor friend of mine who on day 2 lost access to her Facebook and her email.
Oh, no.
in an unprecedented Mercury in retrograde swoop. It was pretty bad.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we have a lot of energy in Aries right now. So we're actually going into the new moon in Aries on the 3rd, which will be great for manifesting energy, manifesting independence and our own unique sense of self and of who we are. The only thing is that with the retrograde is it might take a while to see those things actually come to fruition or put them to practice. But we have a lot of creative, powerful, passionate energy and life change that's coming in Aries. We have no less than 6 major houses, or planets in Aries.
Wow.
So there's a lot of massive Aries energy going on right now.
A 6-pack in Aries.
A 6-pack. We've got a lot that's Aries. So if you've been on happyganesh.com or if you've seen the Twitter or anything like that, you will have seen that big list that says, you know, where you fall in it. That's going to be the same for all of the Aries charts.
Well, which planets now is that? I know it's Mercury,
We've got
Jupiter.
We have our sun is in Aries, of course. Our moon will be in Aries for 2.5 days, from like say the 3rd to the 5th. We've got Jupiter in Aries. We've got, what else do we have happening? We have Mars will be in Aries, I believe, as of tomorrow. I want to say if it's today or tomorrow, but it's this week. So we've just got this massive cluster of Aries energy. And so if you know your chart and you know where Aries falls in your chart, that's where you're going to be feeling all of this. The Mercury will just kind of hold everything back a little bit, be holding it a little bit at bay. But great energy and focus things going on.
Just a little bit. It won't be like a smoking energy with no brain. It would just be... that's the scary part of it. All this energy and the brain isn't engaged.
I think the part of what we've got going on, honestly, is we have we've still got the Saturn in Libra, which is still going to be squaring off and tempering us. It's not going to let us go too crazy. And basically for the retrograde, it's just saying to kind of like, you're going to want to run out and change the world and make all these changes. Retrograde's going to kind of want you to wait it out until around the 23rd, and then blaze forward. But now is a great time to collect your great ideas and start focusing on where you want your ideas to go and where you want your life to go, because Aries is really all about life and life force. But really, retrogrades are times when you collect energy, you collect your ideas, you put them together, you build it, and then after retrograde is done, the gate is open, and then you go. So that's kind of, we're in a little bit of a holding pattern right now, but we're holding a lot back. It's good stuff.
Well, you know, that kind of explains our next card then, because we kind of wondered about this. The next card didn't really seem to fit in astrologically, but I go with what comes up, and the next card is the Two of Cups. Now, the Two of Cups, yeah, I know, it's a tender, sweet card entitled Love. It's Venus in Cancer, which is about as sweet and sensitive. It's what you're going to get, but you know what? That makes sense. The idea of collecting, the idea in a sense of being receptive and sensitive as opposed to,
yeah, absolutely. And retrograde absolutely kind of forces you to sit still and forces you to
not go berserk.
Not go berserk, because if you do, it'll come back, or the paperwork will come back.
Just wait.
Wait. It's taking it slow unless it's something that's old and has come back to be redone now. Then it's okay.
Right. Or if it's something you started last time during a retrograde.
Right.
You get to do it again and finish
it. Approximately 3 months later, you'll get to do it all again. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good times.
That's happening with a video that I did. I'm going to reshoot a video I did for some friends.
Oh, yeah.
We did it during a retrograde back in December.
And now you're going back to
redo it. We're gonna redo it. I mean, it's just gonna have to be redone. It was a wreck, so.
And there you go.
We're gonna redo it.
It's like retrograde part 2 will work a little better.
Yes.
Yes.
This is true.
Yep.
But because of that retrograde, that explains the third card that we're coming into, which is the moon, attributed to Pisces. It's kind of cloudy thinking, is what it really is, and the possibility of delusion. So I'm not saying you're going to be deluded by the end of next week, but you want to be careful, and you don't want to let yourself get reckless, and you don't want yourself to think that you could do something that would be better if you didn't do it, or if you waited. I think that's the significance.
Yeah.
I have in the moon card, coming up where it's coming up. It has nothing to do with Aries. Pisces is like almost the opposite of Aries. It's just dead opposite. But that's kind of like what we need in a way too. It's just that calm down, that reflection, that mysticism, that tranquility.
Right.
You know,
to kind of collect what's going on right now.
Sit on the base of the mouse and meditate instead of climbing it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, at least for the next 3 weeks. But there's something interesting that I was reading really quickly for kind of the hardcore science geeks out there. And there may be some science nerds who watch this. I'm kind of a science geek myself in a weird way. NASA.com was talking about how they had a Mars communicator named Spirit, and Spirit got lost a couple of years ago. And they've just tried to find, they just reinstituted communication with Spirit. They're trying to communicate with it because it's been this little lost, I'm not sure if you call it a traveler or what it's called, but it's been kind of just lost on Mars. And being that we're in Aries in retrograde, that is on Mars, Mars rules Aries, we're in a retrograde. The astrologer in me just had a big laugh over this whole story, and I think if they find it during a retrograde, the astrologer in me will just be like, that's it. This works. I know it works, but it really works now. So,
I know just the other day. Just the other day, they released pictures of Mercury for the first time.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
Yeah, the messenger. The messenger is circling Mercury, and they released the pictures for the first time. So that's up on the internet. If you Google that, Mercury messenger, something like that, pictures of Mercury, you'll find it looks pretty cool. It looks like a little moon, lots of craters and pock marks and stuff. It's a pretty active little fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're active fellows ourselves, and we know you're busy, so we're going to let you go. We want you to go back to what you were doing, and until we see... Oh, I'm sorry, how do they get in touch with you? Go ahead, spell it out.
You go to happyganesh.com. You can also find Happy Ganesh on Twitter and Facebook. There's a great RSS feed where for free you can just put your email in, you sign up, and every time I update the blog, which is 3 times a week, totally free, astrology information and creative writing, how-to information, every time I update it goes right to your inbox. You don't have to do a thing.
Yay! That's the kind of features we like. Don't do a thing. Just
don't
sit
do
there.
a thing. You just put your thing in and it goes right out to you. It's all free. It's
wonderful, wonderful. And check out my website. Check out www.bobdecker.net, home of world famous downloads.
Right.
I got hypnotic music for sale. Also have free podcasts and more information about the different things that I do. So check that out. www.bobdecker.net. All right, listen, we love you. We really appreciate you. And until we see you again next week, many, many blessings.